you doing? How's life? So, let's talk about fears and how we materialize them in our life. So, guys, do you know that we tend to attract, according to the law of attraction, we tend to attract everything in our life that we tend to focus on. And somebody says that, okay, why, why it happened to me? When something happens with us, we tend to blame everyone around, the circumstances, I don't know, the government, the people, anyone, except us, except ourselves. But the highest level of consciousness is to understand that we all create everything around us ourselves with our mind. And yes, so our mind, and this is kind of a coding which inside of us, and also genetically. Somebody will say, okay, but what about small children? They do not consciously understand anything, but they somehow create some kind of fate or destiny. Yes, but we all have a genetic code, and this genetic code is a kind of encoded information inside of us which attracts everything. And sometimes, very often, children, how can I say, energetically, they are very connected with parents, and they can sometimes even have something in their life because of their parents. It's a kind of called family karma or something like this. Karma, what is this karma? It's called like karma, but actually this is just consequences of, okay, karma. It's a kind of the flower that we see in the plant. So there is seed. This is our beliefs, our code or genetic. It's whatever you call it. It's inside of us, and so many things influence it, including ourselves. We can change it ourselves consciously in our life, but I mean that if we don't do it, it will just be kind of a karmic, and we just don't understand consciously what is going on and think like this is kind of something happening with us. We just cannot control it or something. Yes, in this case, our genetic code, our all this stuff from previous lives and many things influence. This information is kind of encoded in our spirit or something like this, and it is happening. But unless the moment when you start to control it, when you start realizing that you can control it. So even okay, somebody, a very famous person like Aristotle or Socrates, I think Socrates said, even Socrates, guys, is that so the idea was something like we cannot control our destiny unless we can control our subconscious mind. And the moment when we start control it, the moment then we start control our life. So, and this is the idea that, okay, guys, I started with fears and I finished with DNA. Guys, actually this topic is, all these things just need to be understood for understanding how we are attracted, so there is a code inside of us, and we attract everything according to their code. This is kind of energy, you can call it whatever you want, which kind of, according to law of attraction, attracts. There are no kind of, cannot, how can I say, the universe is very fair. He does not, blame us for something, punish us for something. He does not, give us more than we deserve, but it just fairly gives us what we, have inside, if I can say so. So, um, and okay, what is okay? Okay, let's go back to karma. So if there is a seed, your belief, then goes your actions, or maybe your actions from your previous lives, actions genetically coded, also, etc., etc. Many, all those imprints influence us, starting with kind of the moment when our spirit was born. It can be very long time ago, and all those lives influence you now. Believe it or not, okay, I'm not saying you, okay, please believe me or something, or this is just what I personally think that it's kind of true. Um, and this is not my idea. I heard about it, I was reading about it, not one time, and from different resources. And everyone can believe in anything. Just again, guys, I'm repeating you, so this is just some of the ideas, and including our current life. So all this stuff influences, and so that's why sometimes, it's something's happening with us, and we behave kind of not understanding what we're doing, like in a circle. So, and it's called karma, like karma, this is that flower that we already see on the surface. So we do not usually see that seed, which can be genetically coded, it can be from this life, from previous lives, etc., etc. Genetically, that means that we have it, like family karma, and so this is the idea that everything, including us, our past life karma, past lives. I think we okay, different people have different amount of lives, but anyway, and our current life as well. The things that we have done in our life, obviously, they tend to influence. So, and then we see that flower. It might be beautiful flower, or it might be weed, that we just don't want. We call it so-called problem. But we usually tend to see just this thing, just this flower that we like or dislike. But there is much more behind of it, and you just need to understand how it all goes from, and how you should work with this. This is a spiritual growth. This is a hard work during your whole life. Actually, I cannot tell you about it in one video. Okay, what particularly you should do, like. But anyway, you should work with your mind. This is for sure. Work with your mind, because everything depends starting from your mind. You change your mind, you change your destiny. Change your beliefs. You can consciously control them. It's very hard. You can work with your subconscious. It's also takes time. It's easier, and I think it's more deep level. So you can change the things even that are very hard to change consciously. So you can change them, and so this is the idea. And going back to fears, so how we attract fears. When we concentrate on this weed, if I can say so, we tend to attract it in our life, and so we give the energy to it. We start to believe that this is true, and vice versa. When we start to focus on the flower that we love, like rose maybe, you start to attract this rose in your life. guys, I hope this information was useful for you. Sorry for saying too much in one video. Yeah, so I love you with all my heart. Be yourself, be limitless, live life on your high terms, and remember, you are the best that you deserve.